Hi guys. Um, Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. This sermon is called Intentional Acts of Kindness. Father, I thank you for bringing me here this evening. I thank you for your just grace and your love and your kindness towards us. And as we venture into this holiday season, God, teach us how to do kindness with intention. Speak to me, speak through me, speak to us all today. Let your spirit in, endow, endow my words with power. In the name of Jesus, amen. Hi, guys. I was watching my pastor yesterday. When I I was in church yesterday and I was watching the sermon. And yesterday's sermon was about um just uh well, one of the things it was about, he talked about many things. One of the things was about like letting go of to 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 receive. And my pastor, if you've ever seen Pastor Furtick, he always likes to start at the stage like a typical sermon, but he always likes to come down um, while he's preaching and talk to the crowd and preach to the crowd. He does this almost every week, um, and when he also likes to do um, uh, uh, ser- ser- um, sermon examples, and he likes to and he likes to do a lot of sermons with congregation participation, and yesterday's was so powerful. Um, he was talking about uh, giving and not holding on so tight and letting God bless to let God bless you. He says God can't bless your fist. And for the example, um, he he gave this blessed sister $10 and said, "Hold it tight, make a fist really tight." And then he gave her something else. He was like, "Nope, hold your fist." And she couldn't hold the more she held the fist, the more she couldn't receive whatever blessing the Lord had for her through Pastor. But when she let go, uh, Pastor blessed her with Chris, Christmas, just finances for Christmas, and to him, it it might have seemed just like a sermon analogy to teach us how God works, but to her, it was an answer to prayer. And you know me, when I'm watching at home, God said to me, kindness cannot be random. Kindness has to be with intention. If you've ever heard the saying that says random acts of kindness, it's where you do things randomly for strangers or people you know that are going through a hard time. He said, kindness is best with intention. We hear a lot about being grateful or having a grateful journal. But what I've found was if you're having trouble being grateful for what you have, stretch yourself with kindness. And it doesn't have to be finances like my pastor yesterday. It could be time. It could be even an encouraging word. Because that, when you can look and see uh, someone less fortunate than yourself and just extend kindness, it'll change your life. It's just that way. And God brought to my mind when a few years ago when I was going to a church, we had patty sales. I don't know if you know what Jamaican patties are. It's like this. It's with pastry and meat inside. They're really good. Um, and as a fundraiser, every week my church used to, not the church I'm attending online now, but my church before that used to have patty sales and drinks and stuff like that. And one day I had patties were $1. They were selling them for $1. After church, you would go to the back and buy your patty and your drink or whatever. And one day I remember the Lord told me, along with your own patty, I want you to use that $20 um, to buy 4 other patties for people. No, I think a patty and a drink and was like $5. Okay, and he's like, along with those other patties, along with your own patty, I want you to use that money and purchase 4 other patties. So I told the person um, that I was not only buying a patty for myself, but a patty for someone else. Now I now patties for someone else. Now I don't know who got the patties and whatever. But it made me feel so good that act of kindness. And sometimes we think kindness is random, but it may not be our intention, but it is always God's intention. And I think that the more we can we can come out of ourselves and uh, be intentionally kind to people, the more we will be grateful. So I've heard of a grateful journal and write down things you're grateful for. Along with that, that's a really wonderful thing. Along with that, I would add to that every day, ask the Lord, who can I be kind to today? S- Intentionally, like in my speech, uh, with my finances, or with my time. Who can I be kind to outside of my family and my friends? Who can I be kind to? Who can I stretch to today? Who can I bless today with whatever I have? And it doesn't have to be money, it can be time, it can be resources, it can be wisdom, it can be all kinds of things. So, um, like we live in a society where it's it's all about me. It's all about me. But once you take your mind off yourself, I believe that's when he can work miracles. I believe that miracles are not always just spontaneous things that the Lord does. They can be, but I believe that most often miracles are things that God does through people. So, along with what are the 8 things that I can be grateful for today? Um, what are, how can I intentionally be kind to someone today? It doesn't have to be money, it can be time, it can be sending emojis on Facebook. It can be praying for someone who's going through bereavement. The Lord wants us to stretch ourselves in kindness today. Could you imagine if the church was known for kindness, if the church was known for love, and the church was known for giving, not just around Christmas, every day, just a random day. I love to see stories like that. I always joke to myself, if God allows me and God permits me to preach at Elevation, they probably not like me too much. They like the sermon, but they probably wouldn't like me too much because I would probably want to give everything in the store away because I'm so like that. I'd pay for it, but I'd give trucks of stuff away because I love I love giving free crap away. It's just awesome. I love to give. I'm naturally a giver. So I'll say, oh my gosh, they would totally not like me because every time, every time I would show up, the store would have each store would have to restock because I'd be such a giver. I said I would just, here, want this t-shirt? I'll pay for it for you. Because you say, what if they take advantage of you? And what if they whatever? If they do, then they do. What people do, if you do something with your kindness and they do something stupid with it, that's not your responsibility. Your thing is that you did something kind with it, and that was it. That was it. God will not hold you responsible for what they did with with your with your kind words or your kind intentions. So I wonder what the world would be like if we were in uh intentionally kind every day. I wonder what the world would be like. It would be phenomenal. It would be totally phenomenal. I can't even imagine what the Lord would do. Would be something amazing to see. Just just to just to see people be intentionally kind every day, just like we intentionally give our tithes and offering or our year-end offering or our first fruits offering, just like we intentionally set aside that. I wonder what would happen if we intentionally set aside time to be kind and to go outside of ourselves. I wonder how much of God would show up, how much of God would work through us if we let Him be intentionally kind through us. And the first act of intentional kindness, um, I I would give as an example is the birth. and death of Jesus Christ, because we look at it as something he had to do, something he was commissioned to do. Yeah, yes, he was. God sent him to do that. But God, I believe, was kind to do that. He saw his world from Eve's and Adam's sin. He saw the world um, uh, in turmoil, and he intentionally sent his son to die and do the kindest thing, to give up his own life for, for us, so that we wouldn't have to die in our sin. And when he sent Jesus as a baby in, in a stinking manger, along with cows and barn animals. It's it's not the happy manger scene that we see. It was awful. It was all kinds of animals and all kinds of like uh, dung and all kinds of dirt. And the fact that he was a king and he intentionally sent his son, who would be born of someone lowly, and then 30, 32 or some years later die a heinous death to rise, so that we wouldn't have to shed our blood, which couldn't be uh, regenerated, which couldn't be restored, um, so that we could live. It's the most beautiful, intentional act of kindness and love. So that is our example. He was and even when Jesus was on earth, there was so many times when he would give, when he would sit with people that other people didn't want to sit with. He would sit with tax collectors. He would sit with uh, the sex workers. He would sit with people that were questionable, and sit with them and have meals with them, and talk with them and sit among them. And the people that you would think he would sit with, he didn't. He was constantly rebuking the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and he was constantly rebuking them and constantly going against the grain. So we can use Christ as an example of someone who used intentional a- acts of kindness every time he was on earth. Not just his birth or his death, but the way he communicated with people, the way he got down to people's level without sacrificing what he believes. He brought them up to what what he brought them up to the point that they could believe in the Father. He was very intentional in his ministry, and it was just amazing. Um, when I look at the Gospels, I look at how he did things, not not especially what he did. What he did was important, but when I look at a gospel story, I like to take from it how he did it, like how he sat with people, how he was kind with people, how he stopped for people that other people wouldn't stop for. how he sat with people that other people would just pass by. And I was like, wow, he really taught us how to be intentionally kind in what he said and what he did and how he did it. It was phenomenal. So, anyway, guys, I'll see you later. Bye.